Welcome to another episode of Two Guys, One Coup. Dale, Jim,
hello.
Gotta severely apologize for what I think a pretty crappy recording. Jim's figured out his camera. I don't even know if I figured out my audio yet, but hopefully it sounds better this time, you know?
Yeah, and keeping with the theme from last week on being liberal and all of that stuff, it wasn't my fault.
It was not your fault at all.
It was not my fault. The camera was out of focus because the camera didn't self-focus.
That's right. And as I'm watching you now, and I don't know if you noticed that, there's kind of a little glitch, like you froze for a second there. So I'm thinking, adjust your camera a little bit. Let's see what happens. The focus.
No, we're not.
It looks a little blurry to me. That's all I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah, it does. I think it's your Wi-Fi.
I
think it's your Wi-Fi. That's terrible looking. You're freezing up a lot. I mean, do you have like the least Wi-Fi possible a human being can get, or is it just?
No, we actually have pretty good Wi-Fi. Are you just joking
I swear
with me
to
here?
Because you can't tell on your
really?
You can't tell on your end, but it is. It's like little glitchy, like kind of just like you're moving like this, and then you freeze for a second. It looks funny. I mean, I like when you freeze, but you know.
See, now you're doing the same.
Am I freezing a little?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! See, I can't tell that on my end either. So.
Yeah, this is professionalism.
Well, here it goes. I mean, here we go. We think we fixed something. Turns out it's garbage. We haven't fixed a thing, and we've only made things worse. You know, which is
that's why maybe people just start listening to us.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to watch. You know, I mean, you're better off not seeing either you or I anyway. So I think people would enjoy it more.
Well, you're a handsome man.
Jim,
I'm not
blushing.
So
I'm absolutely. I don't blush easily, but you've got me blushing. So. Hitting the vodka, are you?
Yeah.
Is that what you?
I wish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody's stopping you. So, I mean,
it's water.
Water. Okay, that's probably better for you. I don't know.
And that's kind of a big glass for vodka.
Seems about right for you, though. I mean, with your past problems to addiction.
Bourbon, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Bourbon, maybe.
Yeah. We haven't gotten into your past addiction problems yet. We'll dig deeper into that as the series goes on and stuff.
But the key thing is, how am I in focus?
I mean, I don't know. It looks kind of blurry to me. Try adjusting it again because you're not freezing anymore. So what I had.
Well, but I don't want to do that because I'm clear when I see it.
Oh, okay. When I see it, it is not. Just adjust it for a second. You know, this will be fun for everyone who is watching and or listening to see. Now, do you look blurry on your end?
No.
Oh, okay. Looks terrible on this.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You know,
sorry.
I don't know. And trust me, people, when I tell you that we've ran through practice rounds of this from last week to this week because we saw how terrible it was and how my audio came out terrible and his video came out terrible. So we've done trial runs and they came out perfect, didn't they? I mean, like everything worked. Show day,
but it did say on the when we were signing up that the video and stuff may not come out the way that we're seeing it. See, now you're starting to clear.
Am I? Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, imagine how handsome I look now. Why are my sunglasses crooked? Why do I wear sunglasses all the time on my head? Sunny Florida, buddy. Sunny Florida. You never know when it's just going to blind me, and then I'm just going to have to throw the shades on, you know?
Here, the sun came out for about 10 minutes.
That's pretty good. That's a good.
It was good. It was
a good winter for you guys. Yeah. You know that the sun actually shined. I could tell by your tan. You know that you're looking.
And I couldn't find a hat that I wanted to wear, so I'm still a little shiny on top. So.
What?
But that just gives you something. To make jokes about.
Just George Costanza references come to mind. I mean, that's about it.
Oh yeah,
you know? Jerry.
But I do. At least I have hair.
You do up there. It's hard to tell with the headphones, but I see it.
Yeah,
I see it. And I've actually met you in person. Oh Lord, there he is. Look at those biceps. Holy crap! You working out?
Well, I've been working on them.
Have you? Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. It shows too. It really shows. Yeah. Show us your 6-pack abs. Give the audience a thrill.
No, we might have to. It might take a while to find.
Yeah. So here we went off into nowhere land again,
which we do a lot.
we're going to try to change things up a little bit this time. We're not going to spend and drag so much attention on one particular subject or the next particular subject, or try to make this kind of flow a little bit faster, not spend, 50 minutes talking about the BCS, which we could, we could spend 4 hours talking about that if we wanted, but, and then another, 50 minutes on just strictly a political thing. So we are changing it up a little bit. Hopefully it flows a little better, and we're learning as we go. So I think it should go pretty good. But again, just for everybody, we'd love to hear from you. Emails, it is 2guys1coup@gmail.com. So that's the number 2 guys, GUYS, the number 1 coup, COUP @gmail.com. So, and we have a Facebook page, so you can find us on Facebook. It's a public group. We'd like to hear comments, suggestions, topics you want to, hear us talk about, what you disagree with, what you agree with. We don't care. That's it.
I think that's the new thing that we want to reach out to do, is that, we want this. Yeah, we want to talk about things we want to talk about, but for if we get enough listeners that listen to us, what would you like us to talk about? And, there will be, I'm sorry, we're just not going to talk about soccer.
It's never going to happen.
So don't even waste your time.
You can write it 100 times. It's never going to happen.
We can research anything. So if somebody wants to say, hey, what's the latest fashion trend? We can try.
I'll tell you what I find, out there, but clearly by looking at us, fashion trends are probably not our forte,
especially mine.
No, you look, you got a nice polo on. I, once again, am in a hoodie, baseball hat. that's kind of my fashion. It's what I wear, so that's it.
When we go professional, we'll start dressing.
Oh, that's right. So. That's right. We got our suits and ties ready. We got them ready to go. So
we need to get closer to the CNN, because we want to match CNN viewership. So.
we're almost there.
We're almost there.
We might have surpassed them already. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But just again, sorry about last week's episode and what it looked like. I don't want to talk about it anymore because I think it came out crappy.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. Hopefully this one's better. Anyways, the show, if you've listened, we're just 2 guys, everyday guys, talking about everyday stuff, basically. Things that affect us on our daily lives, even things that don't really affect us on our daily lives, we like talking about. So, but it runs the gamut.
Try not to take things too seriously, because we need a laugh.
Yeah, again,
no one wants to laugh.
Well,
anymore.
if you laugh, then you're offending somebody, because somebody doesn't find that funny. So.
Well, but it's okay if that side offends us.
Well, of course it is.
It's perfectly fine with that.
We're
right, exactly.
We're heathens. We're the worst of the worst. But that's constant. That's I don't know if that's ever going to change. Honestly,
unfortunately,
I don't know when it would. You can't blame it on an administration or something like that. But it's just it's media driven. It's the woke crowd. Woke is a terrible, subject, really, that people are putting their weight behind, and it's always turns out shitty.
Socialism and communism anybody can make it sound great.
Well, sure,
until it's actually put out there, and then it's like, maybe this isn't.
Well, free stuff. You want free stuff.
Well, the quote: what? To bring socialism in, it's votes.
Yeah,
to get it out, it takes guns.
And once socialism's in, you don't have guns. So, good luck. Let's ask Venezuela, really, how that's going.
Yeah. And in socialism, nobody wins. There you go.
Well,
but the rich are still rich.
The rich win. They win a lot.
Yeah.
They win bigly. More so. Yep. So, but anyway, some of the topics we'll just kind of run through real quick here that we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about the BCS because it's a bunch of BS, but it's BCS. We'll talk about the bowl championship series and college football. Get in a little bit of NFL if we want to, some MLB news if we want to do that. We'll talk to, do our typical politics. We'll have our AOCs of the week, which,
or big Schumers
of the week, so whatever. We don't want to offend one. Well, I don't know. I can't say gender, right? You got
No, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I can. Well, I mean, how many names would we have to have for that segment of our show to not offend the 400 genders?
That's why we do the Big Schumer and the AOC.
Well, I know, but that takes care of what, and then what happens?
But that that puts, it puts those people we respect that say such intelligent things. We want to recognize them for their just the overall intelligence that they perceive. Because in my opinion, AOC is just an extremely intelligent woman. And, I honestly think should be president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, I actually got through that without choking. I couldn't believe it.
I know. I mean,
that's pretty good.
I bet she even mixed up a shitty screwdriver as a bartender, right? I bet she couldn't even make that.
Yeah. And it's fine that she was a bartender and she became fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just she's a little nuts.
She's total nuts.
But
she's lunatic.
People
nuts,
love her.
People
love her.
People. I mean, I guess. I think some of the guys like her for different reasons than,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I just, she's a very attractive woman until she talks.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call her an ugly woman, but, once that.
But when she speaks.
Wow. Yeah. It's bad news, it's bad news. So, anyways, that's kind of the things. And we're also going to do a little segment that, we hope to do weekly, which is a top 5 list this week. It is top 5 bands. And bands. Now, describe what we mean by bands, Jim. Not
music bands.
Yeah, not rubber bands.
Bands from any genre. From it could have been, like I know you're big into swing music, so
I am.
It could be back as far as
also
that,
and,
to current, to current. It's. But we will definitely disagree. I guarantee
there's no way that any of my top 5 match your top 5. Not a one of them.
My top 5. I think my top 5 would not be in your maybe top 15, and vice versa. That's because you and I, we have similar musical, but you branch out a different way, and I branch out the other way.
That's right. That's right.
But these top 5s, it's going to be one of the things we talk about is sports movies, or movies in general, or one of the things I think we'll do next week. I think it's next week. We're top 5 Christmas movies.
Yeah. It's our Christmas special. Tune in.
And when we're done, we will ask you guys to, whether on Facebook page or on the email, send us yours. Send us your top 5 or make fun of us for ours.
Absolutely.
Because I guarantee you, I'm going to have a couple on there that's going to draw some questions.
And we won't.
But again, it's my top 5.
Correct. And I want to let people know that an email comes through. We won't mention, unless you want us to mention your name.
We won't mention your name.
Like that.
Nope.
That's not what that's about at all. We don't care if you disagree with us or yell at us.
Mm-hmm.
We strictly just want to review the email, and if it's something you disagree with, we want to talk about it and all that. So
any feedback is
good. I'm still using the China cup, so I'm still waiting for my American-made American flag cup to arrive. It has not yet. I really expected that to be delivered this week by you to me, but it didn't happen. So.
Yeah. I'll get right on
I'm sure you are. I'm sure I'm tops on your Christmas list this year.
You probably are.
I don't even think I'll get a card. Do you guys send out cards, Christmas cards?
No, we don't do that anymore.
We don't do it any less. We never did it. I admire people that do. Honestly, I give them credit.
Yeah, we
just don't.
My wife did it for, quite a few years. I think it's been the last 2 or 3 years we have not.
Yeah.
So.
Did you used to do the whole family picture and send the Chris? Oh, no, just Christmas.
No, she did. She usually took pictures of the kids and put them in there. Card. Because nobody wants to see me. It's always the kids.
It's not fair.
Can you blame them? Can you blame them?
I don't want to speak to that. I think that once again, you are thinking less of yourself, and in turn, this will somehow be blamed on me.
Yeah, but you're being awful nice to me so far, and so I'm a little nervous.
It's the Christmas spirit,
It's
come over me, the Christmas spirit. Be kind to others. I hear these words.
Okay, so what's your first topic that you would like?
Well,
to discuss,
I mean,
youngster?
we can go either way, and this is one thing we never really even discussed how we were going to do on this show.
We can go either way. I don't think so.
On speak for yourself. I mean, don't knock it till you try it, and you've tried it. I'm sure.
Okay.
I think I want to go a little more like just kind of start off a little serious here and just talk about the Supreme Court battle with Mississippi and the abortion law. And
the one that just finished with Texas.
The one that just finished with Texas, correct. Mm-hmm. And so basically the whole direction I want to take on this is, what's the origin of Roe versus Wade? A lot of people know it, a lot of people don't. And the true origin is that there was a woman who claimed, there was a woman who got pregnant, whose attorneys claimed that she got pregnant via gang rape by black men. All right. And I got to look at my notes because I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but it's Norma McCorvey is her name. That's well, how did they get Roe? Well, it's just Roe stuff. That's the name they gave her because of so much attention. They didn't want direct attention on her. So it's Roe versus Wade. Wade is the defense attorney. And that's kind of how that all got started. Well, the true story behind that is none of that happened. She was not gang raped. She wasn't raped at all by anybody. And to her credit, up until her death, I think she died, if I'm not mistaken, in 2017. Up until then, she was a big pro-life advocate. She regrets every minute of that Roe versus Wade decision. And it was really...
and you know who's happy about not getting aborted?
The child she had. That's right. And I don't have any information on that child. But, the child she had is quite happy and doing quite well. So, it's crazy because some of the statistics, and I'll give them to you, that they were talking about was that there was like 70 deaths due to abortions back before Roe versus Wade. All right. So that's illegal abortions or whatever. 70 deaths of babies being aborted. That's all they claimed was happening. And 612 deaths due to the mother giving birth. So the mom would die giving birth. There were 602 of those. That's back in 1972. That's the real numbers. So there was 70 abortions, 612 moms who passed away. They claimed that her attorneys, Roe's attorneys, I'll just say, claimed that there were over 2,000 deaths, which was not the fact at all. So their numbers were all wrong. The whole story was incorrect. It was a farce and a lie from the beginning. The CDC reports now nearly 50 years after that decision, because that was 1971, the ruling came in, I think. Yep. So 50 years after that decision, they report that 400 women have died from safe and legal abortions. 400.
Wow.
Anyways, the real numbers are supposed to be higher. It's really hard because federal law doesn't require the reporting of that. So you'll never know the true number to begin with. But just know the history and the story of it, that, this was a farce from the beginning. Whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, at least know the facts of the story, and you can be either. That's your choice. Yeah. But, just know where it came from and what we're arguing here.
And those of you that are pro, and I know I'm going to sound a little morbid here, but those of you that are pro death of a child, because I'm sorry, that's what abortion is to me. Yep. Do not worry about all these leftists that are telling you that the Supreme Court is going to get rid of Roe v. Wade. I do not believe Roe v. Wade will be erased. I do not believe so. I believe what we're seeing in Mississippi and what we're saw in Texas That's what we are going to see.
As it should be.
They are going to allow the states to decide.
As it should be. That's Mississippi's argument, is that let the states decide their own. As a sovereign nation, that is how it should be. So,
I mean, the states allow gun laws.
Yeah.
There's some states that have more strict gun laws than other states. So, why not allow the states to say, you know what, after 6 weeks, you cannot abort a baby. And,
if you want to, go to New York.
Exactly. Or go to Illinois or wherever, because some of those states that will probably legalize it. There will be states that you can do that at. And, after 6 weeks, I know there's always some, I take into account as a form of birth control. It should never be allowed.
Well, that's what it's used for.
It should never be allowed. Yeah. Yes, and that's what it's mostly used for, because you always hear the women, the mother's life is in danger if it's a tubal pregnancy or something like that, or if somebody was the victim of incest or rape.
Correct.
Today, though, I believe that if you report the rape and you go to the hospital, they give you that day after pill.
That's right. Yeah.
So, if you report the rape, then you don't have to worry about this law that in Texas or Mississippi where it's after 6 weeks you can't.
Correct.
Do it.
And it's probably, I can't claim that it'd be easy to report the rape. I can't. I know how degrading and embarrassing
I shouldn't have said that.
No.
However, but they do need to report.
They do. You can. Yes, you can report it, and as you should report it, right? Because you want that to not happen.
And you don't want this individual to do it
to somebody else. People. That's right. And so you want to at least deter that from happening, and then you can get the morning after pill. In the event that you are pregnant from, or will become pregnant from the rape. But, I do understand the other side where I can't report the rape. I'm embarrassed. I'm afraid. I feel degraded. I don't want to tell anybody. I mean, you got to understand that that's also part of the gig too.
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be hard
that's a big part. So, especially with younger, say a younger athlete in high school that has been raped by your coach. I mean, or a teacher or something that you have to, but as a parent, and we have to watch that. We got to, watch for signs of that, because I agree with you. It is very degrading. You've just been violated. And I can't sit here and say that I know what it's like, and I never will know what it's like. But it's appalling. Rape. They should be punished. But I think they should be punished more than what they are. Of course being punished. They should be. But of course they should be. Eye for an eye. Eye for an eye. Exactly. But real quick, I want to add to one of my favorite liberals that vastly becoming one of my favorite liberals.
And why?
And Thea Butler, and she is the professor of religion at the University of Pennsylvania. I've talked about her 2 weeks ago. But she then states that SCOTUS, for those of you who know what SCOTUS is, it's like POTUS, but it's the Supreme Court of the United States, seems poised to hand religious conservatives their biggest victory yet. The gutting of Roe v. Wade with the ability of the states to block the right to abortion.
Unreal. None of that's true.
Right, because not everybody who disagrees with abortion is religious right.
Correct.
Or religious conservatives. It's not the case. It's just, is it moral or immoral? That's what most of us feel what it's like. But here she is again, opening her mouth, because states should be allowed.
Absolutely, they should. That's the American. That's the republic we live in.
She's from this side that believes that voting laws can be changed right up to the time the last vote is made. Especially if you don't like the outcome. And, so it's okay for each state to do that. But for a state to, it's ridiculous. States should have a right to make their decisions. Look, if California wants to do all the crap that they're doing, okay, if they want to make it to where electric cars by next year, right? Everybody has to own them. Do it. I don't care. I don't live there.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I did live there, and I stayed there, then I have to live by those rules.
That's right.
It's just the way it is. And so, but she just, here we are, the liberal left is throwing out there about, they're taking their rights away as a woman and everything else. And no, they're not. Yeah. They're just making it harder for you to do it. And nobody under the age of 18 should be allowed to go without a parent. I'm sorry.
Agreed.
I am absolutely sorry. But some of these states, nope, 15, 16-year-old, you can go get an abortion and you don't have to tell your parents.
Exactly.
And that is just not right.
Is it that way in your state, or is it,
No. No. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Indiana will be, I guarantee you Indiana's watching these other, because Indiana will be one of the next ones to do it.
Florida will jump. For sure. So, and don't worry, people out there, there's still going to be states around you that allow it. So, many states. So that's kind of the whole take on the abortion. It's in the news. It's something that's a controversial subject with everybody, it seems. Yeah. And so we just kind of wanted to briefly go over that. Let's see. Jim, what do you got that you want to talk about next?
Well, I just wanted to, this won't take long, but, the Joe Biden administration is supposed to be an empathetic administration because, according to them, the Trump administration was downright horrible and everything.
And
else,
Uncle Joe's
was not true.
And
by
Uncle
the way.
Joe's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Oh yeah. And, but here's some of his empathy plans that I just made note of real quick on some of the things. First of all, he's got no plans to visit Waukesha.
Oh, very empathetic.
Or Waukesha.
Very empathetic.
No plans to visit it whatsoever. The second one of the fathers of the Marines killed in Kabul, stated and just blasted Biden, stating that he has talked about Biden's son. Biden has talked more about his own son than he has his son who died in Kabul.
It's true.
During this wonderful decision, that he made. And then another one was he's abandoning Americans overseas. He abandoned them overseas. I don't care what anybody says. He abandoned.
And that story's gotten lost. And that whole story gotten lost in everything. And it's got to be pushed every day.
The media.
Yeah.
Seeing, if you're watching ABC, NBC, CBS, all those news stations, you're not going to hear this. And because I got a little additional thing to add here that I noticed that was it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Actually. And then, of course, Biden hasn't visited the southern border, and he has no plans to do so.
Could care less. Could care less.
This mandate of want to require all American citizens to get shots, vaccinations, but he's releasing these unvaccinated illegals coming into this country and just releasing them into cities. Yeah. And, come on, liberal left. I know you guys are ignorant quite a bit, but you got to think that's not right. I mean, come on. But
they only think it's not right if one of them shows up at their doorstep, but as long as they're somewhere else, they don't have to see it or they don't have to live with it every day or deal with it, then they're perfectly fine with it. So,
but this this president that's supposed to be more empathetic or whatever, or pathetic is what I like to call him, but more empathy towards people and he does not. The administration does not. They don't care. They want you to show up every 2 to 4 years and vote for him. They don't give a dang about you. They don't.
They don't. They absolutely don't. Just ask Kamala.
From that, I got and so I just went.
She'll laugh at you. Just
what did you?
Kamala, okay. Not camel toe.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it's Kamala, but I'm Kamala.
But when I did this research, and trust me, folks out there that you listen to us, Dale and I to have to sit there and go to CNN, go to MSNBC. It kills us to do so, but we have to. We have to be fair. We have to be right. You realize that the day that I was doing this review of all of these discussions that I had for the more empathetic president, none of those stations mentioned any of what I talked about. Nothing. Some of them still can't even say the guy's name. They still say it was a red SUV that drove through. But not only MSNBC had 5 stories on their front page about Donald Trump. 5.
still,
it's just they can't let him go.
I don't know if you heard. It was during the Trump administration. Yeah, an interview with Ted Koppel. Ted Koppel used to be on ABC News and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And he literally, I think he was talking to Brian Stelter, who we talked about last week.
Your AOC, the
roly poly Brian Stelter. Again, nothing against roly poly guys, just roly poly. Brian,
thank you.
Welcome.
Roly polies are lovable.
Well, they are. They're like little teddy bears, you know. But he said to Brian Stelter, he said, "You guys can't live without Trump. You have made Trump your whole basis for your news station. That when he goes away, you're going to fall apart. You're going to fail." And they are failing. They are.
Yeah, and he's not going away.
I know. And so it is insane, but they won't let him go away anyways. They need Donald Trump.
Yeah. They need the enemy.
They need the enemy, you know, because they're certainly the Biden administration is not going to be an enemy to them. You know, that's their people. Yeah, well, no. You know, that's their people. So, but the whole CNN thing leads me into something I wanted to talk about, which was the news. It was Chris Cuomo was fired by CNN. We, you know, right or wrong. I mean, if you listen to some stations, they'll say, well, he's just defending his brother. That's the right thing to do. And that's admirable. I mean, that's fine. Mainly he was fired.
Once you find out what he did.
Once you find out what he did, and once you find out other reasons why they've let him go, such as why he had to quit a Sirius XM show, was due to that sexual harassment claim while he was at ABC, which you brought up last week, which was brilliant. And, you know, you jumped the gun. I mean, I think the news got it from you personally. That's how impressive I think that was.
No, I got to credit Fox News on that.
Well, there you have it.
You know, there was a story out there that had
it. Kept it alive.
But I do, 2005, I believe it was. He was fired by ABC for.
Well, this thing's not going away. I mean, she's pursuing all this shit, and so.
And he's suing CNN
for his contract and all that. Good luck. You know, who isn't suing CNN?
Yeah.
You know, so join
but
the
what
crowd.
he was doing, you know, to sit there, because we talk about, you know, defending our brothers, what we would do for our brothers. I would like to think we would want to help our brothers by not talking about it, right?
Yeah.
But he went the step further by trying to gain or get information on these women. You know, on these women that were doing this. And where is the Me Too movement?
I know.
Where's the now women? Where are they out there?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I just think, you know, Rose McGowan, I mean, she don't agree with her politically on most everything.
Correct.
But when Kavanaugh was going through what he was going through, and then when these Biden, you know, when these women came up about Biden doing the same thing, she left the organization because she said, this is all women, not just women who are harassed by conservative men.
Correct.
And which we know that's what it is. Okay, that's no bones about it. It's conservative men that do this. When liberal men do it, man, it eventually happens, but it just takes so much to get them removed because they have to. I mean, look how long Cuomo.
Oh my God.
And honestly, us, you know, conservatives, if it was a conservative that did it and it was proven that it was done, not what happened with Donald Trump, not what happened with Kavanaugh. So what was proven to be done, we walk away from that guy.
Every time.
His support is gone. They step down. So, you know, don't sit there, you know, we don't support those people. You know, they believe in our beliefs and then they don't.
We get rid of them.
That's
it. So, we get rid of them. I mean, that's it.
So it's just, where is the consistency? Where is this outrage? You know,
exactly.
And
you know what's the funny part though? You know, when you think about the Andrew Cuomo thing, it wasn't the sexual harassment that I think was the biggest problem. It was the nursing home deaths that they just brushed under the carpet, man. You know, they just brushed under the carpet. That was not even news other than like on Fox News or Newsmax or OAN or something. But that's it.
Where are the families of these individuals?
If I'm not mistaken, is Janice Dean, is she the one that was on Fox? It was her mother I think, passed away in a New York nursing home. And she's been obviously trying to sue and do all that. I don't know where that's at. I'd have to research it, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Because we don't hear about it.
No, because you're not.
Now, if it was the Trump president, we'd be hearing about it. It'd lead the news.
It'd be 24/7. That's it. Trump kills old
people. Or if it was DeSantis.
That's right.
If this was DeSantis.
Oh, he's killing old people. He's killing old people. He's a grandma killer.
Or Abbott in Texas.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. So that's basically the whole Chris Cuomo thing. And he's gone, and he had to quit and his publisher. He's not publishing his book now either. Just, they canceled that, which is kind of funny. The name of the book
would have been great fiction.
It would have been. And the title was going to be Deep Denial. That's what the title was going to be. And so I'll tell you, in quote, here's what the book was about, according to his publisher: a provocative analysis of the harsh truths that the pandemic and Trump years have exposed about America. That was what that book was going to be about. I mean,
must
read. All right. I'm sure that'd have been, a top seller in the New York bestseller list, unreal piece of shit book. It would have been lies, like all everything,
all the people that support him and the left, that they would have broken into the bookstore to steal it. So he would have made no money
anyways. That's right. It's under $950, so in San Francisco, you just get away with it.
No
Did
problem.
You see, this jumping subjects again, but there's a store owner in San Francisco that marked every item in his store at $951. And when you brought it up to the cash register, you got a coupon for the real cost. But it's marked that. Yeah, that's right. Break into his store still. It's marked $951. Yep. You're going to jail, idiots. Crazy, crazy story.
And I have one more addition at the end.
Go ahead.
To this. It was my AOC of the week. No, it's the AOC.
Oh, okay. So we'll talk about that. All right.
We'll research that.
Yeah. Some of the other, I don't know. Do you want to get into our,
well, I do. I want to talk real quick in America. I don't know how many of you know this or how many are out there, but one of the things that I saw is China has just or will be building the first military base in the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to be off the Guinea's port, Africa's coast of Guinea's port city of Bata.
Wow.
This is scary. As I give credit to the Biden administration, because they're taking this seriously, because it needs to be taken seriously, because that's just closer to attack us. And
yeah, absolutely.
And this is not a strategic move to better flow of anything. And this was a move against the United States. And so again, elections have consequences.
They do.
And if you think this administration is the administration that is going to fight against the two big enemies right now, Russia and China, you are vastly.
And you know what's going on in Russia. They've sent is it 1,000 troops to the Ukraine border now?
Yep.
Is that what it is? Right at the border?
They're coming in.
They're coming in.
Oh, they're going in.
He's wanted to.
And
here's
and Joe Biden, he gave the old Obama cross this line.
Oh, I know.
Oh, wait, we'll move it. We're going to move it back.
Yeah. Well, no, I meant this line.
Don't cross this.
I mean, this is like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
This sounds like, but I mean, have we not learned in history what happened?
We did, because when
we ignored,
Trump put sanctions on. So, Russia was building that pipeline, right? I mean, they had 90% of that pipeline done. And Trump put sanctions on Russia that day. The day the sanctions went on, they stopped production of that pipeline. Now, you could say, well, 90% of it's done. Well, 90% of it is as good as 0% of it being done. It stopped. They couldn't use it. As soon as the sanctions were lifted, 4 days later, Putin went to building it, getting it completed. So you tell me who's tougher foreign policy wise, or who meant business, or who wasn't going to take their shit, and then you look at this administration. Well, they listen, they can't, they come out and babble everywhere. You've heard Pelosi, you've heard them all. I mean, they're babblers, you don't even understand half of what they're saying, and they're not tough on the enemy, and Russia and China are the enemy. Sorry. That's it. So you're right. They're not, they're taking it, I think, as seriously as they can take it, because they're not going to do anything about it.
Oh no! When I say they're taking it seriously, they're at least acknowledging,
they're acknowledging
it.
It sounds good.
And this is a bad thing. But look, they didn't try this with Donald Trump.
They did not.
Iran wasn't, I think, 60 to 70% enriched uranium now.
Yep.
Not under Trump, they weren't. So you always sit there and talk about how well the rest of the world didn't like us when Donald Trump was president. So what? They respected us.
He's not president of the rest of the world. He was president of the United States, which is the country you live in.
But they respected us.
Yeah, correct. They respected it.
And who is the first country to show up at these other countries that have disasters?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We are. Always. We are.
We send our
humanitarian event.
In,
yeah, we are.
Basically cities in themselves, hospitals, feeding it. But we're the bad guys.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
whatever.
That's right. Well, the democracy. It's terrible. The capitalism is it's just a terrible thing for the world. But anyway, so that's
okay.
An interesting fact. But
what was your opinion?
Yeah.
Sorry, we're changing.
That's fine.
What was your opinion of the college football weekend?
Crazy weekend. Honestly, surprised.
Nothing's close.
No.
Only one game was close.
Only one game was close. Yeah. And that was Oklahoma State.
Too soon.
That was Oklahoma State. Baylor. He tried.
He jumped too soon.
I know. And the only homer thing I'm going to say is we snagged their defensive coordinator. So Jim Knowles. Yep. So that's awesome. Good. Good.
Oh,
but that's it. That's the only homer thing I'm going to talk about.
I have some friends out there that are Notre Dame fans.
Why are they friends?
and apparently I'm too hard on them. So I am going to make a comment about Notre Dame before we get into this that I knew who Marcus Freeman was. I knew who he was. I didn't know much about him. Was he going to be a good coach or not? But I've heard interviews on Dan Patrick's show and Colin Cowherd, and you guys got a good one.
He's a great one.
That I would play for him. I mean, he loves the game. I just think that he's not going to be able to achieve what Notre Dame still thinks they can achieve with the rules that are laid out for him. And
at that school.
At that school. Yeah. So now he's going to be great. He's going to get everything out of every player that comes there. So I hope that he wins a national championship at his next job.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that. So,
well, what you're talking about, honestly, is the academic standards to get into Notre Dame versus what it would take to get into Alabama. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Georgia, LSU, all of those.
Yeah. So I mean, they're just different academic standards. That's all.
Yeah.
Not dumb kids or not dumb. That's not what we mean. But I mean, there's just a different standard. So to get that 5-star super genius, to come play in Notre Dame,
good luck,
is going to be difficult, for them. Yeah. So what they achieve year in and year out is still pretty good considering the talent, and they have good talent.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong.
And they have a name.
They have. Well,
I just want them to join a. Conference.
Well, I am now.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's great. And that was nice what you said about Marcus Freeman, and he's an ex Ohio State linebacker. And he took a jab at Ohio State, this time,
Yeah,
I mean, once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye. That's dangerous, right? And so we won't have to review the jab, but it'll be on the billboard for game 1 of next year when we play them at the Horseshoe and hopefully crush their Catholic rear ends. So that's not a Catholic match.
Yeah,
that's
but
just who they are. So
okay, and I just love hearing all these experts. Oh no, Michigan should have been 1. Alabama should have been 2. Who cares at this point? Sorry, the committee was not going to put Georgia against Alabama
again in the first game.
That's
where people are pissed off. Then that's where people are like, "Who cares?" Well, it's because it's a clear committee SEC bias. We, those of us who think that. Not that both teams don't deserve to be in. I'm not saying that at all. But, you take a number 1, or at the time, number 2 Ohio State, and they lose and they drop to 7. You take a number 1 Georgia, and, they drop to 3. So it's like, now, should they be above Cincinnati? I still think yes. I still think Georgia
Now-
will dominate a Cincinnati team if they get a chance to play.
Where-
But Cincinnati now has to go through Alabama. Georgia's got to get through Michigan, which is no easy task. I hate even saying it. Hate it. And I'm I'm going to be a Georgia fan. I can't root for the conference if it's Michigan. I can't do it.
Yeah,
Iowa's in Wisconsin. Maybe I could do that, but
it's like me with Purdue.
yeah, right. You can't do it. Purdue just number one basketball team in the nation right now. Gotta piss you off.
That's scary.
Yeah.
They are scary good. And then Indiana gets up by 22 at Wisconsin last night, and they lose. Here we go again. But anyway, I digress. But no, I think the matchups are good.
I do too. It'll be fun to watch.
With the exception, Luke Fickell, you have done a great job with that Cincinnati.
Alabama's going to crush them.
But yeah, I think you're going to. I hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see a good game. I would love to see a close game. I just don't think it's going to happen. Now, if Oklahoma State would have won, who knows what would have happened. But I believe in my heart of hearts, and I will say this, that if Notre Dame was in the ACC and they would have won the ACC championship,
they'd be in it.
And I don't think Cincinnati would.
I don't either.
Or Georgia would have dropped out. I just but because everything happened the way it happened.
Yeah.
Okay. It allowed the committee to do what they did. Now, I would have put Michigan number 1, Georgia 4.
I agree.
And then I would have had
Alabama. You could have achieved the same thing, right?
Yes. Because I don't know. We talked about Georgia. Georgia had a dominating defense all year, but they've really never faced
and I think I said it last week that Georgia finds a way to screw it up every year. They find a way to somehow screw it up. Now they'll have redemption, but by the Michi, who went down, Alabama wide receiver, who went down with a leg injury, I think it's going to be perfectly fine and healed up come January. So at least it appears.
Waddle came back for a little bit.
Yeah. And then, of course, they got Jameson. That offense was – that offense looked scary. I know. He got away from Ohio State, I don't know how this keeps happening. First Burrow, now Jameson. I don't know. The transfer portal, that's another subject for another show. And the name, image, likeness. I screwing up college football, man. I'm telling you.
Well, just wait. Wait till Peyton Manning's nephew. Peyton and Eli Manning's nephew.
Yeah.
Okay, Cooper. I think it's Cooper Manning's son. Archie, I think is his name. Archie Manning. Arch Manning. Yep. Wait till this guy goes to.
I thought he was going to Mississippi State. Is that true? Would that be the college?
I don't know. I have not heard. I doubt he goes to Ole Miss.
Or Ole Miss.
But maybe if Lane Kiffin's there, maybe he goes there. You got a coach that knows how to coach quarterbacks.
A lot. I'm not sold on Lane Kiffin on anything.
Well, from a quarterback creating standpoint, look what he did with Corral.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
he turned Corral into possibly a late middle first round quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we'll see what happens. It is Eli and his grandfather's alma mater.
It's true.
I'm not sure where Cooper played, if he played, but he's not going to Tennessee. Yeah. But the name, image, likeness has an effect on it. But I think I do think Georgia is not going to have an easy game against Michigan, is what some people might think.
I don't believe that at all.
That Michigan defense is something.
They're for sure. They're for real. That's true.
They just had one letdown against Michigan State.
And they were up. They were up 16. Just one. Snafu, which is rare.
Now, I still think
stupid Harbaugh team, but
I still think it's going to be Alabama and Georgia in the final.
I see Michigan, Alabama. That's my call.
I wouldn't be upset with either one.
I would,
because I think you'd be upset. See, I think this is one time that you might actually cheer for Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Well, see, that's what I say. Anybody who doesn't know me out there, my teams are the Reds. I've had some hard times here lately and over history, but I've also had the Big Red Machine in the 90s. And so we've had some good moments. For sure. I'm a Bengal fan, which self-explanatory. especially if you would have watched this last weekend.
Yeah.
And then I'm an IU basketball and football fan. And so I said to myself, I'm getting tired
I
of
know.
this. I want to cheer for a winner.
Why don't you?
So I added another team.
Did you?
Alabama's football
Well,
team.
there you go. I mean, this is just like when you were a child, how you became a Bengals fan.
Roll Tide.
We
Roll Tide.
reviewed last week. He said because you thought, well, geez, why the baseball players must be.
Why isn't Pete Rose playing running back? I don't understand.
Exactly. So you might as well now, 50 years later, or however, jump on the bandwagon again with some winners. Why don't you go Alabama?
Yeah.
I got an idea. Alabama could be your college team. All right, from now on, so we can remove all that crap in the background there and just start pulling up.
No, IU's nope, still my heart.
No, you're an Alabama fan now. That's
well,
you're about to be. You're
I just want.
You're about to be.
And don't you even go.
What?
I am not changing from the Reds or the Bengals, dude. Sorry.
I mean,
I'll suffer.
You're gonna have to go Houston. You're probably an Astros fan now.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, you probably are.
Even though I think it's time to move on.
Yeah.
That's okay. They did the stealing of the signs.
It is time to move on. It is time to move on, Ed. I do think
that is it. They didn't need to do that because they were good players. Yeah. They have a good team. But let's move on.
So, what does that sound I'm hearing? Is that your phone?
Don't worry about it. Yeah, my phone.
Super professional. You never turned it down, or was it on vibrate?
Oh,
okay. Didn't we go through this before we started?
Yeah, we did go. Sorry. But no, this
Jim's
college football
playoff,
I think.
Again. I apologize.
I think they got
everybody.
the 4 teams right. I think they got the 4 teams right. I was a little disappointed, when only one game was close.
Yeah, I wanted
and
better
it was
games.
The Oklahoma State game, which, in all honesty, that Oklahoma State game just made the committee's decisions.
Oh,
easier.
it did.
But did you know there is a group out there that still do the BCS calculations?
Do they?
Yeah, and guess what? BCS calculations came out the exact same way as the committee did.
They did? Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
yep.
I mean,
that's what they did.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I just, as much as I hate it, I think Michigan should have went to 1. Fine, whatever. It is what it is. My final prediction, honestly, is most likely Michigan, Alabama. That's what I'm figuring is going to be in the championship. Mainly, and honestly, I'd pull for Georgia. That would be fine with me if Georgia won it all. I just don't really want to see another Georgia-Alabama matchup, a month after this previous one. So,
and I think everybody, even myself to an extent, is going to be cheering for Cincinnati.
Well, of course, I just don't think
because how many times have we seen it? How many times have you seen a situation where a team like that, they just come out and they throw wrinkles?
I know,
and they just throw you because look, they're not going to be able to pound the ball against Alabama.
No,
they're not going to be able to do that. Just athletes.
I don't think their D-backs can keep up with the speed of Alabama receivers.
You are going to look at. You're going to see some. You're going to see some trick plays. You're going to see some weird stuff that you don't normally see. And who knows? Who knows what happens if Alabama looks past it because they have been known to do that.
Well, look at the Auburn game. Almost.
Not in these big games, though.
Yeah, I know.
But and I think we're all going to be Cincinnati fans there. For
I think
a while. One, it's a wonderful city, and it's a city of winners. So I think we need. To, that gets the respect right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for Cincinnati, Kentucky. That's a great.
Yeah. No, knock it off.
That's where they're at, aren't they?
It's just the airport. What? It's just the airport.
Yeah, I mean, when I fly into I fly into a state, not even just a city. I'm going to Ohio, and I want to fly into Cincinnati. I don't even make it to the state.
Well, close enough.
I mean, like there was no land north of the city.
Hey,
right?
land was cheap in Kentucky. All right,
that's terrible. What are you saying? What are you trying to say?
Nothing. I love Kentucky.
I know. Kentucky's great. It's got a lot of good bourbon.
They need to get rid of their senator, but they got.
That's true. No.
Oh, and guess what? My brother and I, hopefully he's going to watch this. Yeah. I think we're going to do the Bourbon Trail tour down in.
Are you? Yeah, I've always wanted to.
Kentucky.
I've driven past all the areas.
Some of our
times, but
Maker's Mark is on it. Woodford Reserve is on it. So, and those are those are my two favorite bourbons. Plug.
Yeah. More than happy to get some of that too, or something.
Yeah. So college football, I think they got it right. I will say this: I do think that the best four is there. And again, here's Cincinnati's issue: they're playing against an Alabama team that will not be having players opt
Correct.
out.
Yeah.
Okay. Last year against Georgia, when they got close to beating Georgia, Georgia had players opt out.
That's right.
We talked about Utah and Ohio State.
Ohio State's going to have probably their two best receivers.
Utah's probably going to have some people opting out. So Utah might have a shot when normally they wouldn't. So these games are going to get Notre Dame. I'm really curious to see how they do.
Who are they playing? Did they announce that yet? They play.
Yes, they did.
Shoot.
Oklahoma State, right?
Is it Oklahoma? Yeah, I think you're right. It's a January 1st bowl, right? Didn't they get it? Yeah.
Or is it Baylor?
No, Baylor. It's Baylor, Notre Dame.
Baylor. Okay.
Yep.
So I think that's gonna be a fun game. Notre Dame's defense was playing really well towards the end of the season. And you're going up against a Baylor team from the Big 12, which Baylor and Oklahoma State actually had some defense.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's uncommon for Big 12.
So true.
I think that's going to be a really good game to watch because Notre Dame is going to want to win that game to say, to their old buddy Brian Kelly, go to hell, basically.
So, but
there's some
right. He's going to be the.
He's coaching. That's his first game. That'll be his first game. So there's some really good games.
I think so too.
Michigan State and Pitt. I think Michigan State and Pitt is actually an interesting.
I do too.
Game
I think
itself.
I think Pitt can handle.
Well, Pickett has turned out to. I think he's moved up into that potential. Top 10
I think so.
pick. I don't think he won't be number 1 or number 2, but those two linemen, one from Michigan and Oregon, they'll be 1 and 2
more than likely. Yeah.
I think there's some really good, intriguing games. And I was happy to hear that Purdue is playing, I believe, against Tennessee in the I don't know, the Blue Bonnet Outback Creative Bowl, whatever that is.
The one,
but they've already had their top wide receiver, who was the Big Ten Receiver of the Year. He's not playing; he's opted out, and another player opted out. So, go Vols!
Go Vols! Go Vols!
College football was good this year. I think it gave us a lot of different.
It did. I'd still like to see the expanded
things.
Playoffs. I still would like to see 8 or 10.
I do too, because you and I have already had this conversation, and. Big Ten ACC challenge for basketball. Yep. The Big Ten has the Big East challenge. Big Ten Big East challenge in basketball. If you expand the playoffs, you could potentially have a Big Ten versus SEC conference game.
You could,
get 8 of them in there, but because an Ohio State or an Alabama, who's even though they are going to play each other here in the next 10 years, I think, but you can afford to lose that game. And still be able to make that.
That's
playoff.
right. Yep.
This is why we don't see these great games. This is why we don't see these great matchups early on
that's right.
that we would want to see, because no one wants to take that loss.
Well, true.
It's
true.
So, and that's why Cincinnati had to go. At the time, the Indiana game at Indiana looked good.
Yeah, it did.
Considering where it was last year, and they went into Notre Dame. It's because nobody's going to go into Cincinnati.
Yep, correct.
So,
correct.
So it'll
be interesting. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, let's expand it.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
right.
I agree. So
next,
do you
want
to jump right into these top 5 picks?
Yeah, because I think the top 5 is going to take a while.
I think so too.
I'm upset with football. We don't need to talk about the NFL.
You're right. I don't think in MLB. I think the lockout's still going around in MLB, right? So Anyway, and in golf, it was interesting to hear some of the conversations, the interviews with Tiger Woods, who's coming back from his car wreck injury, and how they almost had to amputate the foot. Can you imagine? I mean, that's crazy. But anyways, that's again, we'll get into golf more and more as the actual season starts and all that. So, but top 5 bands. What do you want to go first? You want me to?
Yeah, let me go first. It was your topic. It was your idea. So let me go first and do mine.
Okay. I mean, I've been waiting. I do not know
when we when we get a producer, this will be more entertaining and more interesting because I would like to introduce my song of these groups as I'm saying them. But,
although the songs could be copyrighted and we might get pulled down immediately.
Yeah. So I want to make sure because actually my son mentioned that yesterday. Maybe you don't want to do that because so we're just going to talk about the top 5 bands, and maybe I might get everybody some excitement, and I might sing something. But
I want to hear you sing. That. I want you to hear. You got to sing one song or a line from each song, from each band that you name. So, and now you're going to stop. Right. You're going to start 5 and go up to 1, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
So now a lot of people that know me. Most people that know me is going to know my number 1 probably, but we'll see. My number 5 top band, it was when I was in high school. They came out and just the rhythm, the everything, the way they sang, it was New Edition.
What?
Count Me Out, Mr. Telephone Man. Just absolutely great songs. And this was it gave us Bobby Brown. Sorry. New Edition, number 5. I'm not lying. Not lying. See, told you.
I don't even. That wouldn't even. You said earlier in the show,
Mr.
top 15,
Telephone Man.
Top 15, they wouldn't make. You'd be surprised if they. That wouldn't make my top 100.
But let's be honest with you. It was New Edition that started the boy band wave after and later. It was New Edition and how they gelled together, and that's what gave us the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. And oh, by the way. Yeah. The Backstreet Boys would have been in my top 10, but we'll move on.
Wow.
But
they're not a band.
Yeah, they are.
The Backstreet Boys?
Yes. They're a boy band. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, my God. Dude, but a single one of them doesn't play an instrument.
Okay. Wasn't established. You said a band.
I thought it would be I just thought it would be well known that these people would actually have to be musicians, like band. I'm thinking band. Say in the high school. Now shut up. Well, wait. In the high school, your say marching band is the majorette in the band. Is the majorette in the band?
This is my top 5 list. Leave me alone. Anyway,
I can't even. Okay, go on.
So number 5. All right, so let's review. Number 5, the Great New Edition.
Yes,
awesome,
amazing.
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
You know their names.
Cool it now. Well, cool it now. It's in. Well, 3 of them became Belle Biv DeVoe.
I know that. Okay,
that girl is poison.
I know. Anyway. I know exactly who they are.
Ralph Tresvant, Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Johnny Gill. And
Bill Biv DeVoe. Is that your number 4? Oh,
no,
okay. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Number 4 is Look What the Cat Dragged In. Poison. Frontman Brett Michael, absolutely phenomenal with his guitar. CC DeVille. I think Ricky Rocket and Robbie Dahl. I think rounded out. Just great. Nothing but a good time. Come on. How can you not like?
I'm all about the hair band. So listen.
Every Rose Has Its Thorn was just probably one of the best ballads ever.
Yeah.
But Bret Michaels was one of those lead men that could actually sing.
True.
He moved. True. He was. Everybody loved him and all that. And but it was great. And I just grew up listening to those guys. And just awesome.
I get that one.
Rocking. It was between them and Motley Crue. I'll be honest with you.
I think for
now,
greatest band.
So,
I think. It's
number 3. Yeah. We're really gonna.
Oh no way! Come on.
Hold On Loosely, 38 Special. Love 38 Special.
Way.
Southern rock band.
Yeah, like Leonard
Listen
Skinner?
to 38 Special. Well, yeah, but it's the same type. But oh no, if you listen to a 38 Special song, there is no one that's going to be able to keep from tapping their toes. They're just. What if I'd been the one? Come on.
I don't.
Awesome band.
This is
awesome
lead.
Crazy
list to me.
Yeah, 38 Special, number 3.
Is anybody listening? 2guys12 at gmail.com. 2 guys, 1 Coup. I'll put it up there. You'll see it. It'll come across the screen. So, dude, anybody listening, have you even not just heard of them? Because some people listening probably never even heard of these people, let alone a top 5. And it's your list, and I don't want to keep bashing your list.
My kids would know who they are.
Well, yeah.
Got them listening to them.
That's like child abuse, some of this.
Yeah, but trust me, there's 38 special fans out there, and you probably don't even realize the songs they sing. It's like, oh my God.
They probably have less fans than we do listeners.
But
go on. and I feel we're losing viewership and listenership as we speak.
Now here's the kicker.
Okay.
I almost think you've never heard of this band.
Come on.
They're my number 2.
That I've never heard of.
Yep.
Go.
I'm going to the country.
Yeah.
And it's not the state that everyone might be thinking.
Okay.
Of. It is Restless Heart.
Never heard.
My wife and I, for our honeymoon, we went to Nashville and Grand Ole Opry, and they were performing so we got to see them. It was absolutely phenomenal. They didn't have Larry Stewart with them at the time because he left them.
Who?
But we have seen them. Larry Stewart's the lead singer. But since then, we've seen them 3 times with Larry Stewart. I think we're stalking them. I mean, you can actually, anytime they're close, we go see them. They're one of our favorite bands. And
where do you see them at? Like state fairs and stuff? Where do you see these people right now?
Actually, yeah, they do venues like here in Shipshawana. They have a nice little Bluegate Theater. That's it's a 1,000-seat venue. I mean,
Shipsha what? Shipsha who?
Restless Heart was the country band of the year in 1985. So they were good. If you listen to country music, you would know who they are. But their love song, "I'll Still Be Loving You," is my wife and my song. So,
well, that's romantic and adorable and cute and all that crap. It's all that lovey-dovey crap, and that's
just listen to them. Everybody out there, listen to Restless Heart. You'll be fans for life.
I don't know if I could even find one of their songs to pop up. I use Spotify. Do they come up on that, or are they?
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bluest Eyes in Texas.
I gotta dig deep probably for that.
You probably heard When She Cried.
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2, Restless Heart.
Okay,
so 2. To review real quick.
Yeah, to review real quick.
New edition, number 5.
Even get this.
Poison was number 4.
Almost get that.
38 Special was number 3. Restless Heart was number 2.
Nobody's heard of them.
And drum roll.
Ready.
In My Dreams, Dokken. I owned every album, video,
I can't even.
everything. Don Dokken, George Lynch, the best lead singer, lead guitarist combo around.
So now,
I
listen. I don't want to interrupt. I keep interrupting you, and I feel bad about interrupting you. But I feel like this is. What's your real top 5? Okay, let's start now. That was funny. But
everybody out there who knows me, who's going to listen to this, my family especially,
I know
please
you.
Let
I would have never known Dokken.
That these 5 are. Oh,
I would have never known that was number 1.
They're awesome. They're the way they. They weren't well known. I mean, obviously, they weren't the Motley Crues. They weren't the Poisons.
They weren't as big as them.
And unfortunately, they were going to do a tour.
Yeah.
with Great White opening for them, but George and Don had a little tiff, and so they broke up. Now they're back together. They're doing their little stuff.
They're 150, and I'm not saying
right
that.
When they were
old bands are fine as being in your top 5. Right. That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, they actually had a song, "Burning Like a Flame," that actually made it to the pop charts, the top 40 charts. And normally it's the Poisons and the Motley Crues that had songs do that. Well, they were starting to become mainstream, but broke up. But look them up, Doc, and just George Lynch. Okay, if we ever get to top 5 guitarists, George Lynch is number 1. I love the guy. Steve Vai would be in there, but George Lynch and Dokken are every album I own. Every cassette tape. Those of you who don't know what they are, and then eventually to CDs.
Yeah.
But I've got Docking Station on Pandora, and I got on my Spotify. I've got Hair Nation music that I've got docking every one of their songs that I listened to growing up.
Well, you weren't wrong in your initial assessment when we started this show.
Shocked the hell out of you, didn't I?
that your top 5 wouldn't be in my top 15, and you are correct. Not a one of them.
Poison might have.
Poison would be in my top 15 hair bands, but overall bands of all time, no.
Well, see, in all honesty, now if we do top 5, hair bands,
2 of them are there.
You're going to know. You're going to know my number 1 and number 2.
That's right. I know your number 1 and number 2 already, which is terrible to know.
But it's coming.
Jim,
so,
that was brilliant. That was inspiring.
I'm telling you, after our huge crowd of listeners listen to this, they are going to move up. Spotify's going to go, who are these people? Why are they selling all these records? So, but again, that was my list. You may not agree with
Nobody
me,
will.
But it's my
Nobody will. Nobody will.
All right, dude, what's yours?
They won't agree with any of your top 5. They'll agree.
Bananarama.
They might agree that you're that there's hey mate, Poison, that's fine, good. It was fun. It was good times. It was 80s hair band. That's when it was. I mean, that was best era to me ever.
Yes.
So
yes.
Not maybe musically. I mean, obviously, but I mean, just the era itself was cool as shit.
Yeah.
But
fun, good music.
Fun. And so, and then maybe even Dockin. They'll be like, if back then and listen to them, I listened to Dockin. So I know who they are. Your number 2, I have no clue. That's just baffles me. I've never even heard of them.
Well, you don't listen to country.
Well,
you don't listen to country.
I feel that even if I listen to country, that band wouldn't come in my mind. People like Hank Williams Jr.
Remember, they were in the
Merle Haggard or Johnny
They were
Cash,
in the mid 80s.
Mid
80s to late 90s. So
terrible time for country music, honestly.
That was actually the best time for country.
Oh, what? What?
Yeah, that was actually the best country, because we all know who the greatest singer of all time is.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it. That will also be
George Strait.
See, now
George
everyone's going to
Strait.
know now when we do solo artists.
I know, but anybody that knows me, even people that don't know me, know that. But he's my number 1, 2, 3.
I know he is. You probably go to concerts and take off your bra and throw it up there at him. I mean, that's how much you like him.
See if I.
What do you got back there?
I'm looking. I have his. He had 50 greatest number 1 hits, right?
Yeah.
So he had
wait.
I was going to see if
he had 50 number 1 hits.
Oh, he's got more than that. He has more number 1 hits than any recording singer.
Okay.
Ever. Any genre.
So I thought I heard
number
that,
1.
but I mean that's number.
Yeah.
So we're going off.
But he has it's called Straight. He's got Straight Out of the Box. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to your bands, because
personally,
we'll talk about
based on your top 5 list, George Strait is the only straight thing I see about you. On that list.
I will be honest with you. He does have a band called Ace and the Whole Band, so I almost put George Strait in the Ace and the Whole Band, but I couldn't do that. That wouldn't have been right.
Very close to George Strait and the Asshole Band. That's almost what it sounds like to me. But
anyway, what's your top?
So way different. Going to be way different. Mine actually are bands. I mean, so
yeah, so are mine.
Oh, okay.
The group of people singing, and
my number 5 is the Eagles. All right.
Okay. I like the Eagles.
Whether you like them or not, the fact of the matter is that they have the top selling album ever for any band.
But they're no new addition.
They are not. 7 studio albums, 2 live albums, 10 compilation albums, 30 singles, 18 top 40 hits. All right. Their highest selling studio album was Hotel California, which I know right? Yep, and most everybody listening.
I like Eagles.
I know you like them. These aren't. I would guess that you like a lot of these.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there might be some you don't, but I guarantee you've heard of them all. So I guarantee.
Well, you've heard of 4 out of 5 of mine.
Yeah, and even the 5th one was just baffling to me. Heard of them, but I mean, just like, okay, so that's the Eagles.
Okay,
right?
Eagles, good.
Number 5.
Very good one. Good
My
one.
number 4 is Iron Maiden.
Love Iron
Just
Maiden.
telling you.
Love
okay,
them.
I mean they're.
And I got to meet them.
You did get to meet them.
I
That's
told you
right.
that story.
You did tell me
Yes,
that
I
story.
did.
You did get to meet them, but
Yep.
I got to look at their stats. 41 albums, 17 studio albums,
Well, wow, you're doing stats. I didn't even
47
do
singles.
stats.
Iron Maiden by 2017 sold over 100 million copies of their albums. I mean,
Yep.
but besides that,
And probably the most iconic
logo, like basic
character for your
Yeah.
Eddie.
Eddie is right.
Eddie.
Everybody has seen or knows of Eddie, you know.
Yeah. Good group.
Oh, thank you. I feel mine is
They probably would have been 9 or 10 on
oh my
mine.
God. I mean,
There's
there's no way that I don't even think I don't think none of these make your top 10 based on what I heard your top 5.
No, so far no.
Yeah, none of them would.
Yeah.
I don't know if they make the top
But they're
20.
good. But I on my Spotify and Pandora, you'll see those.
I know.
They're on.
I know.
So.
I know. It's just weird that.
Just like after next week, Restless Heart will be on yours. You listen to them once, you'll love
That's it.
them.
I'll be hooked.
But go on. What's your number
3 is Pink Floyd. That is my number 3.
Oh, you lost me, dude.
What?
Oh my God.
What?
Sorry. Yeah, I cannot listen to
Why?
them at all. Ever.
Why?
It's that type of music, that style. Go ahead.
Comfortably Numb. You cannot listen to Comfortably Numb. You can't listen to that song.
I can't. Pink Floyd, just not big fan.
Wow. Okay.
It's like I feel like I need to be on acid when I'm listening to them.
Top 5.
And that's why everybody likes them, because they're all high.
Top 5. And you can play Dark Side of the Moon to The Wizard of Oz, and it goes right along with the whole movie. I mean, have you done it?
Anyone.
Huh?
No. I dare anyone to listen to Pink Floyd sober.
Why would you?
And tell me that you're a top 5 band. No way.
Listen to them stoned, and they might be your number 1. So
never been stoned.
I know
been
you
drunk. Never been stoned.
I think when you made your top 5, you were stoned. So, anyways, just come on, Pink. Okay.
That's the only one I disagree. I don't.
I mean, we're not done yet, so it might not be the only one you disagree.
They wouldn't make my top 800.
Oh, come on,
Bananarama would be.
Come on. Oh my God, they were nominated. So here you go. They were inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
250 million records. Like literally 4 of their albums are in the Billboard Top 200. 4 albums.
Because everybody was stoned during that time. Horrible pick.
Crazy.
Horrible pick.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not as good as your number 1, but
Culture Club, much better.
Oh my God, Boy George. Okay, gotcha. You know, this is terrible. Number 2. Right. Number 2 in our hearts and in our minds.
This ought to be really good.
Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
I mean,
you can't argue with you can't argue
with it.
You're
right. I mean, they might have stole some tunes from people. You know, I mean, they've been accused of it.
Who hasn't
stole a riff?
Vanilla Ice did.
Right. Who was number 6 on your list? I think. And no, he's a solo artist. Sorry,
he's solo.
That doesn't count. But 300 million records worldwide they've sold.
Very good group.
Very good group. I mean, you don't need to go into the stats with them, but they're blah 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 blah.
They're very
Billboard
good.
200s, all that. The number 1, which might surprise you, and they don't have the stats that maybe some of the other. But if you had to guess, what would you guess my number 1 would be?
Okay, I was just going to say, with the trend that this is going, I was going to say Black Sabbath.
No, good one. Could have made the top 5.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Rush is my number 1. My number 1. Geddy Lee, Neil Peart.
Folks, it's time to end this show. This is our last show.
We want Rush?
Oh, how? Oh my God!
What?
No,
Tom Sawyer? What?
Rush comes on. I have a friend that really likes Rush too.
Smart guy.
See him concert. And
Smart guy.
Rush. I have known you for how many years? Rush?
What? I've known you. And your number one is a band nobody in the world's heard of except you and your spouse.
Hey, they were big in Germany.
So was David Hasselhoff. So was his recording career.
Oh my! I would never have guessed Rush. Oh my God!
Listen to these figures. Listen to these figures. Money that some of their albums made, and the time that it made it. Permanent Waves, 1980, $1.48 million in 1980. Now you know a record costs like $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their album 2112 in 1976, $4.2 million. Moving Pictures, 1981. Moving Pictures, probably their most famous because they had probably the more known hits like Tom Sawyer and all that, which you've heard. I know you've heard, right?
Oh, I've heard.
That's
Rush.
right. There's a difference between my list and yours. Anyways, 5.6 million. So, 17 platinum albums. These are stats. 3 multi-platinum albums, 14 platinum albums total. These are stats that far exceed any of your top 5. Let's be honest. Right?
Except for George Strait, maybe.
That's not this discussion. That's another day, you idiot. That's not what this is. So but it had nothing to do with stats. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with your personal top 5, which I completely respect your opinion.
No, you did not. You did not.
I'm baffled. I'm baffled.
Rush. As stunned as you were at Restless Heart at number 2, I am stunned by this. I really am. I thought I knew you better than that.
Done.
Okay, I will say this. You know what the difference between your groups and my group
Mine
is?
are good.
No. Well, no. Mine are all from the United States.
Oh, I had Jesus. Jesus God. Well, I too.
Canadians.
So you got, what did I have? One. Only one, right?
Yeah, but that was your number 1.
Yeah.
You have all the flag. Take the flag down behind you and put the freaking maple leaf up. Traitor.
My number 1 is our good friends up in Canada who are being oppressed by their stupid prime minister, dictator up
there. Hey, my name is French Canadian. So
there's the problem with that too. French Canadian.
So I will say this: 3 of your 5 are good. I like listening to them, and they're good. 2 of them are total stinkers.
Total stinkers. Pink Floyd. Stinker.
Yeah,
Pink
I
Floyd.
Can't. I just can't, honestly.
Like one of the most famous albums.
Oh, and in my top 5, no one died at their concerts either.
Again, how does that make it a good top 5? You know why nobody died? Because 500 people trampling on each other is not going to be bad.
Whitney Houston ended up dying, and that was Bobby Brown's fault. So
not
one
at
death
the concert.
associated.
Not at the concert.
Well, no,
because you can't have a crowd of 300.
Poison
charge the Restless Heart concert.
You know darn well. Poison
2 people broke toenails.
Oh, sorry. George Strait's not in this list.
I wish
Poison,
you quit bringing them up.
Darn well sold out.
Yeah, quit bringing up.
Poison sold a lot. Now, Doc, and again, these were groups. I like the mainstream groups and stuff. The Motley Crues, the Poisons. The ones that sold.
Yeah.
I just Rush. I never got into. Never got into.
One thing you and I can agree on that wouldn't make our top 100 is the Beatles.
Yeah,
that we can agree.
Yeah, agreed. And which is kind of funny because they're considered the greatest band of all time. And so
I'm sorry. I know. I got friends, man, that are like deep Beatles fans.
I have aunts that are big Beatles
and
fans.
I never could get it, man. I just don't get it. I don't like their music. I don't think they're brilliant writers. It's just me. I know. You can probably decide that based on my top 5, but there's something about them that I just have never been a big fan of. I don't dislike them. It's as people, It's just their music was terrible to me. Like me, I'm not a massive Rolling Stones fan. You know what I mean?
No,
I'm just not.
I'm not a big
You
fan.
know,
No.
some
And they would, funny, you named probably Billboard or, they would make they would be in the top 5.
Oh, for sure they would.
Those two.
Yeah,
those
for
two.
sure.
Yeah.
And
I will say this, your list in the top 100, you would have more bands in your list in the top 100 Billboard than I would mine. But that's why it's a personal preference.
I know it is. I mean, I actually thought that I would have heard of all 5 of yours. That's all. I thought I would have, heard of them.
It's all right.
But
you listen to Restless Heart, you'll be.
When we get off the air here, I'm going to actually put that on my Spotify. I'm going to see if I can find it. And then too, if I had to pick a Restless Heart song that I just must listen to, what is it?
Well, if you're with your wife,
okay,
I'll still be loving you.
If I'm not, then
it's a ballad.
Yeah.
It's Dancy's Dream is fun. Bluest Eyes in Texas. That Rock Won't Roll. Wheels.
Zero recollection of any of these song titles from anybody.
Fast Moving Train.
You really are a fan. I mean, that is like, and that's not because because you're not. I mean,
I have seen them in concert more than I've seen George Strait.
Did your wife make you like them, or
No, actually, I got her hooked.
Really? Oh my gosh, she needs therapy.
Now you'll be happy to know that the next 5 would have been hair bands.
That should have been your top 5. I would have at least accepted that.
No, you got to remember, growing up, high school, New Edition was just fun. And granted, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of my friends did not know.
Yeah.
I listened to New Edition because they were the Metallicas.
I know they were almost made my top 5, but
Megadeth and stuff like that. And it was I just liked.
So you were a closeted New Edition.
And 38
fan.
Special. Well, yeah. I mean, you didn't. Some of the friends I hung around with, I probably would have been stabbed.
See, there you go. That's how. Yeah, but that's a band that should never make a top 5 when you're ashamed.
But 38 Special. I mean, even I've just listened to them.
They're good.
80s, 90s,
I don't hate
2000s.
Yeah.
I just really.
They're good. I don't hate them, but there's no way that's a top 25 band. Not even a top
for you.
50.
For me. See, I didn't go by sales. I don't go by sales. I go by what I like to listen.
I only brought those stats up to give some validity behind why people might actually listen to that kind of music. Well,
and see, this is interesting because and my kids make fun of me all the time. If Adele comes on the radio, I have to turn it. I cannot listen.
There's
to
a lot of stuff I
don't know what it is
about it.
I don't know what it is, but there's just there's certain things. Tracy Chapman. I just didn't like listening to her. It just wasn't. But other people loved them, and it's just what you.
It's personal preference. It's what you go with and what you listen to.
Right.
You in high school were hunkered down in your closet listening to New Edition while your friends were out enjoying such good bands such as Motley Crue and all that.
What was it? The Calendar Girls? What was the? It's Raining Men.
Is that what
the Weather Girls?
The Weather Girls.
It was the Weather Girls.
It was the Weather Girls.
Yeah. Yep. They were good. They almost made my top.
That's not even that's a joke, obviously, right? I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. I can't tell.
No, but ABBA would have been close to my top 10. I love ABBA.
God, Dancing Queen.
Yeah. Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia is awesome.
You've gone from bad to worse. Like it's not getting better. You don't look better here.
So what were some of the bands that missed you?
Okay, that kind of just missed my top 5.
Yeah.
So in going through it, I was debating on so my 5th was Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
And then I was kind of going back and forth with personally AC/DC could have made it. All right. AC/DC could have made it for me. That could have been 5 for me. I probably listen more to AC/DC, but I like I like the Eagles more and their variety and all that. So I mean, that's just, that's way different than Iron Maiden. So I mean, it's not like I have the same genre almost in there, but
and even Rush is a little,
and even Rush and Pink Floyd, and they're kind of all differently things, right? So I do listen to a variety of stuff. Country would never be a country band would never be in my top 10.
And funny thing is, if a country band was in anybody's top 5 or 10, it probably would be Alabama, right? But,
yeah, probably. Most likely. And if we did that,
not me. Oh, by the way, all 4 of my band members for Restless Heart play music.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, but then you go to New Edition, and I don't think one of them did.
No.
Yeah. So
they sang,
it's not a band,
but they're considered a band.
Oh my
you
God.
Didn't specify.
I didn't think I had to. I thought it was well known that a band means musicians.
So who else?
So AC/DC would have definitely been in there.
Good. Solid choice.
After that, I don't really. It's wide open for me. I mean, it really is because there's so many different. If I had to come up with a top 10, it would have been hard to place 5.
Yeah, because you got Motley Crue.
You do. You have all the
Motley Crue's out there. Bon Jovi was big back then. They were. Time. I even enjoyed Journey.
Journey could have been in the top 10. It probably would have been in my top 10. Journey. Believe it or not. I just think, just even listening to their music now is fine. Like I can listen to it, and enjoy it. That's how I kind of base mine. I can sit there and I could put on Tom Sawyer right now, Rush, and just listen to that thing and still enjoy it. From the first time I heard it, which was the first record album I ever won off a radio station, believe it or not, in 1981, was Moving Pictures.
Solid.
So, I was the 13th caller, I mean, so.
13, great number.
That was my baseball number. What was it, yours? That was yours.
Was it yours?
13. Yeah.
Why'd you wear it?
I wore it only because it was supposed to be unlucky. That's why everybody was saying I didn't wear it because of a person wearing it. I didn't wear it because, somebody else did. I just knew that I wanted 7 initially. That's my favorite number. Don't know why. It just is. But that was taken. So I'm like, I'll take 13 and ran with it and loved it. I embraced it.
Wow. We've known each other all these years and I did not know. 13. Davey Concepcion.
Yeah, I figured.
That's why I was 13.
Yeah, I figured. So. But that's.
And it's funny because when he wasn't one of the greatest Big Red Machine players.
Oh, solid player.
Good shorts. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
That's another story for another day. Yeah, there's just a lot of bands that could have, anywhere in this that could have jumped in there. And because you've seen my top 5, so you know that there's going to be you and I thought the Maroon 5, Daughtries, those would be in high up there on my list too
of all time.
And it's just that I like to listen to. How can you really, honestly, how can you really put I can't think of their name right now. It's terrible. Axl Rose,
Guns N' Roses. His last name is part of the name of the band.
I don't like them.
What?
I don't like Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
My kids, my wife loves listening to that. I can't.
Appetite for Destruction.
Welcome to the Jungle is probably the only
because
thing,
it's the Bengals.
Yeah,
played at the Bengals
that's probably the only song I don't care for them. I just never.
Wow.
I don't know the sound. It was just I know that stuns a lot of people because they're probably one of the most popular hair bands.
Yeah, they were kind of almost hair bandy and right out of the hair band.
Because Axl Rose is an idiot.
No doubt. Axl Rose is a bona fide idiot.
All kinds of records. This group could have.
He's
just
an idiot.
He's
totally an idiot. And he's very, very, very large now. He looks like a very large lesbian librarian, if you ask me right now. That's what he looks like. So that's Axl Rose for you.
Well, have you ever watched Behind the Music on VH1
I used
when
to.
they had it and stuff?
It's been a long time. I don't watch that shit.
And have you watched The Dirt?
Oh yeah, with Motley Crue. About Motley Crue. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Really
okay.
Good. It's on Netflix.
Well, if that's by the way, during this time, Dale and I will talk about Netflix shows, Amazon shows that we watch that we like, and talk about that too. But on the behind the music, it was awesome how they showed Tommy Lee getting together with Nikki Sixx, and they were, they found each other, and they're like, we need to find a lead singer. We got to get somebody that can. And Tommy Lee, he goes, well, I know this guy that's not a very good singer, but the women love him.
Yeah.
And it was Vince Neil. I mean,
I know.
It was phenomenal. I mean, it's just how these groups, first of all, how they're still alive.
Oh, I don't know how they're still alive, to be honest with you.
Even though Ozzy Osbourne died 8 years
nobody
ago,
told him.
He just doesn't realize it.
Nobody told him.
He's still alive. But
and speaks better English than Joe Biden. But go on.
In Black Sabbath, when you look at James Dio.
Oh, I know.
It's
probably
Ronnie James Dio.
James Dio would be in my top 5.
Yeah.
I call solo artist. That was his band though, so it's hard.
Big Dio fan.
Big Dio. Oh, Rainbow in the Dark. Yeah, come on.
And another group that I really enjoy that might come as a shock to you, but it was Wasp. I enjoyed listening to Wasp.
It doesn't come as a shock. I mean, I like Cinderella, right?
Well, you know what? Honestly, who doesn't?
I mean, but
their sound was.
Yeah, it's just iconic stuff to me. But yeah, Wasp. I understand Wasp totally. I would have understood that if you put it in the top 5. Your top 5 for personally, I would have got that.
Well, Wasp was up there. I mean, honestly, it was.
I just can't believe the people that kept Wasp.
The only reason I threw a New Edition in there, it's because I remember it
brings back good memories or something to you.
It was different back in the 80s. It was high school, and unlike some other people, I enjoyed my high school.
Could put Run DMC in there, I mean,
it's a group that I just listen to. I mean, I wore out the cassette tape for crying out loud. I mean, it was It was just a group that I enjoyed listening to during that time, and to this day, I like popping it in and doing it, and
popping it in and doing it. Wow.
Popping it in and doing it. Wow, that's what she said. No, I get the Rush. There's a lot of people that like them. Black Sabbath. Pink Floyd. They just never. They just never hit my.
It's a different sound.
They just never hit it.
I just think musically, country, geniuses, but that's just me. I mean, that's just what I think.
But country's different. Country's a taste, country's,
it is.
People, what they like and everything. But what I like about country performers is, even with my favorite groups, Dokken and all that, when you hear them live, they sound just like they do.
Yeah.
Whereas, the
oh, I know.
Heavy metal's not so much.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, that's true. It's hard to duplicate the sound in heavy metal. But
I think for the most part, we like the same kind of music. Hair bands, that's it. That's our. I love any hair band you threw out there was great during that time. But it was just I just wanted to change it up a little bit on what my
so
when we do top 5 hair bands, unfortunately I gave away some of mine when we do it, but
we probably won't do that anytime soon, since we
kind of let it slow for a little bit.
Next week is top 5 Christmas movies,
and I can't wait.
There will be some controversy there.
Well, the funny thing about it, I don't know about you, and so I'll go ahead and give some of it away right now, is you will not see the traditional Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life. That will not appear in my top 5.
Neither of those two will be on your top 5.
Neither one.
Wow.
I just, I seen them once. They were okay. I just don't.
I'm not a big It's a Wonderful Life fan, but I am a massive Christmas Story fan.
Yeah. So, they play it on TBS
24/7
all the way through
on Christmas.
Right? And it's funny because my wife had me watch it.
A Christmas Story?
I had not seen Christmas Story until Lori and I, until my wife and I, till my wife and I were, maybe 5 years into our marriage.
Yeah.
And then I finally watched it. She played it for me, and it was okay. And she couldn't understand that I didn't like it more than that.
I would agree with her on that. I would agree with her.
It's okay. I mean, it has moments.
I find myself agreeing with your wife a lot more on most things now than I thought I would.
Well, most people do, because my wife is down to earth and normal. But
it's just shocking.
But that's not fun.
Oh, I know that.
That's not fun. I don't like to be.
I'm starting to be.
I like
I'm starting to.
I like Mr. Telephone Man.
I'm starting to think if the marriage fails, I know why. I'm getting to know why. Like, I don't really like A Christmas Story.
I'm gonna be honest.
What's the name of that band? Wounded Heart. What is it?
Restless
leg syndrome.
Restless.
What? Okay.
Well, yeah, that's restless.
Restless heart. Okay. Not wounded.
Anyway,
that's good.
But
okay. Well,
yeah. So Christmas movies will be next week.
It'll be interesting.
In honor of Christmas.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
But again, out there, folks, please send us emails. Facebook page, or if you see us walking down the street, just say, "Hey, my
tomatoes."
My top 5 is this. I mean, because this is what we want. Because I guarantee you, Dale is not the only one making fun of my top 5. There's other people going to listen to it going, what?
Like who? They're going to be stopping and pausing and Googling like, who's this wounded warrior? Who's this? Lieutenant Dan? Is that who is it? Is it his band?
Yeah.
Or is it?
But look, my music range, it's all over the place. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, I go this way to this way. I mean, I
do go both ways.
I love musicals.
You do swing both ways.
I like listening to musicals.
So that would be an interesting one. Top 5 from us too.
Yeah. Well, mine. You know my number 1.
You probably know my number 1 too. But
yeah. But the funny thing, because some people don't. Our number 1 wouldn't be
their number 1.
Some people don't consider it. Some people don't even consider it a musical. But,
yeah, correct. That's true.
So, but this is where you and I are going to piss a lot of people off in that area because we probably haven't even heard of the ones that are.
That's probably true.
Like West Side Story.
What?
I don't know.
When you're a shark, you're always a shark. Yeah, that's what it is.
They just do this. I think
you look good. You look like you could be a shark, man, or a jet.
Yeah, the Jets. Yeah.
So, right.
Yeah. Benny and the Jets.
Gosh, there you go. Solo artist. That could be in your top 5.
That's right. So no, I think this top 5 is going to be fun. I think we're going to have a good, and hopefully people out there listening to it give us their top 5. Because I'm on, honestly, we know, you make fun of my top 5. I guarantee there's somebody out there that their top 5 we're both going to make fun of.
I mean, it's totally not going to be the same, and I get that, but I'm baffled by your top 5, and that's okay.
I knew you would be. I
That's okay. All right. Well, you want to move on from the top 5, and I have a couple other things I'd like to talk about.
Go
first. Just some news things, if you don't mind. Jussie Smollett trial. I mean, that whole
he didn't do it.
He didn't do it. No, he didn't do it. One I think pretty interesting take that came from his testimony was that he had cocaine-fueled gay bathhouse escapades with the alleged attacker. So, knowing you and your escapades in gay bathhouses,
who hasn't?
Does that happen? I mean, can you actually get cocaine in the gay bathhouses that you go to?
I wouldn't know because I don't go to.
Listen, we just heard your top 5. So could you are you serious? We just heard your top 5.
Doesn't matter. I don't go.
You listen to some, I don't know, Native American band called Wounded Heart or something.
So, it's okay for people to go to those places. I do not.
You're the one that's kind of making a big deal about it. I mean, just saying.
So I probably have, relatives that are listening
that go to gay bathhouses.
Oh, wow, Jim. No, that are thinking, wow, we didn't know him the way we thought we did.
Well, they don't.
Because you could be kind of believable.
I know I can be. I know I can be. And I'm telling you, I'm not lying here when I say about gay bathhouses.
No, I don't.
You've never heard of them?
No. Never. You're the one that's heard of them and is talking about them.
You probably have a series of soap on a ropes that you carry with you, and just an event, a gay bathhouse pops out of nowhere. Anyway, so I didn't know.
Anyway, we digress.
I knew about them. It's kind of I don't mean to I go on about that.
But this came up in the trial.
Yes, he said this. This is what he said.
He said it.
He testified that's with his alleged attacker. that he had cocaine-fueled gay bathhouse escapades. I mean, that's how he put it. Who would say it like that? But yeah.
Well, to the liberal left, he hits all the check boxes.
He sure does. He sure does. He sure does. So anyway, that's just some interesting, stuff. And now apparently another CNN scandal. Don Lemon apparently was texting old Juicy, letting him know that the police didn't believe him, and all this stuff. I don't know the depths of it all, but that came up in trial. It was actually testified to that fact, and of course Don Lemon is being all quiet, and of course, course they're saying, well, of course he would text him. I mean, Jussie Smollett is a black male. Don Lemon is a black male. They were, whether it's true or not, it was stated that he was attacked by two white MAGA hat wearing individuals in the middle of the night in heavily Democrat Chicago. Okay, sure, that happened. That he was attacked, and they used
soap on his back,
and a noose, wrapped the noose around his. No, it was bleach, right? They poured bleach on him, and then So apparently, that at the time would have been okay for Don Lemon to say that, since Don Lemon is also a gay black male,
right?
But I could see this thing going further, almost down the Chris Cuomo trail. Like, what did you do? What did you say? What sources did you use? So we'll see what happens there. They might be replacing somebody else at that terrible network. So
remember, during this time period, how many times did or has what we consider the news sources that we follow disproved everything that was discussed about Trump, about him, about this? Because let's face it, that was during this time they want to do that. Because the people that sit there and tell me that Donald Trump is racist, I ask them, well, give me an example. Well, he didn't treat women very well.
That's not racist.
That's not racist. And I get it, he didn't. But name me a billionaire that has treated women very well.
Correct.
It's unfortunate power, and it just has a tendency to go with that. But that's not racist.
No,
but you talk to all these African Americans that like him. It's like Herschel Walker, of all people, for crying out loud. He talks highly of him. Him and Tim Scott. Donald Trump and Tim Scott worked on that. That we'll get into here as we get going on that helped African American inner city people start businesses. And it's so it's just their mantra. That's the only way they can do this. They want to, in my opinion, they want to keep the African American community where they're at and blame the rich white people. That's my opinion, and that's not the case. We want everybody to succeed. Everybody, you have the opportunity. This is the United States, for God's sake.
Correct.
You can succeed in this country. We just want everybody to have to work.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you fall on hard times, okay, it happens. Okay, there's services out there for you, but it shouldn't be your lifestyle.
No, it's not. It shouldn't be their income.
I don't care if
you're be an income,
and I don't care if you're white or black. White, black, Hispanic, purple, pink, gray. I don't care. All the colors of the LBGT community. But I don't care. It's there for a short time until you get on your feet, until you can hold yourself together. And that's not racist comment. That's a comment from somebody who's, we all want to help people,
exactly,
and we do help people. But after a time, when we have generational families,
it just keeps going. It keeps
welfare.
going. Welfare becomes their lifestyle. Then and they never get out of that, because that's what they watch their parents do it, or their mom, or their dad, or whatever.
That's what the left
just keeps going.
That's what the left tells them.
Well, that's their voting base. They like that,
right? And it's not just black. Yeah. It's not just black. I'm not sitting here saying, because I don't want somebody to come out there and say, "Oh, Jim thinks all black people are on welfare." No, that's not what I'm saying.
It's not even close to the case.
But we need to. But explain to me why more African Americans went on welfare during the 8 years of Obama, and they all came off welfare the 4 years of Trump.
Exactly. Yeah, explain that.
Explain
that. Because,
but they won't believe it. You know, they won't believe it, even if you have hard facts.
They don't believe it. Yeah, they don't believe it.
And you know, true. As long as you guys want to follow you know, go ahead. You know, it's to your own demise.
Exactly.
And well, unfortunately, yours and ours
to the country's
where it's really
more than anything.
Right.
So,
right.
But so that's the Jussie Smollett. We'll keep track of that. Closing arguments, I think, are happening, and you know, we'll see where that goes. But you know, it's a farce.
This was a wasted money because nothing's coming to this.
I mean,
he might face a fine, but nothing's
he's not
coming
getting jail time. He's going to get probation, if anything.
No.
You know, so we'll see what happens. Right. But kind of had to be done. You know, I mean, the Chicago police, they were pissed. So, anyways, on to some COVID news, because why not? I mean, let's just talk about COVID.
No, the new villain, the new villain in the next Transformer movie.
That's right, but that's not even this part. This is two hippos tested positive for COVID. 2 hippopotamuses, and no, not Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. Just, you know, even though. That's even though that's what comes to mind when I think of hippos. You know what?
You need to apologize
to who?
You need to apologize.
I'm sorry, hippos.
To those two.
I would never want to associate hippopotamuses with those two.
That was good enough. Right. Yeah, you insulted the hippos. That's what I was talking about. You need to apologize.
That's right. But anyways, a Belgian zoo has said 2 hippopotamuses have been taken into quarantine after testing positive for coronavirus. He said the hippos' noses are usually wet, but vets at Antwerp Zoo decided to test the pair after they noticed they were expelling snot. So they were expelling snot, which I guess hippos don't do. I don't know.
I'm not a hippo expert.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg does. I know that, but the hippos do they? I don't know. So, which is. You know, so COVID can reach the animal world apparently.
So we have to shut down. We're going to shut down
zoos. You gotta quarantine all animals into their own safe spaces, or have the hippos wear a mask. I mean, I think that's the only other possible option.
Actually,
you know, is to put masks on the hippos. So
good luck getting it on.
That's not my problem. It's the Antwerp Zoo's problem. You know, good luck with that. That's just the COVID news I wanted to talk about because obviously it's weird. Wow. That hippos got COVID, and you know, so there you go. That's about it for me. What you got going on? Go on.
That was it.
That's it.
Just other than getting to our big Schumers and AOC.
That's it. You want to go first with your AOC, or you want? Sure. Is your AOC of the week an AOC or a big Schumer?
My AOC of the week's an AOC, and it's actually AOC.
Hey, what it stand for?
She, you know, I was waiting for this to happen. And let's be honest, it's going to happen. It was going to be Anthea Butler again for the second time.
Yeah.
But AOC commented that there was no grab and snatch. She said it was just one pharmacy in California. And if nobody knows what I'm talking about, there is this grab and snatch group that is going into the cities, the major cities that have taken away from the police department.
Correct.
Or did this law about if you steal less than $950 or whatever, you don't go to jail. So this is organized, and it's on video everywhere. These individuals will – I mean, the first one that we saw was in San Francisco where these high-profile – I love this – these high-profile stores, right?
Yep.
And they were all lined up, and people were coming out, loading up the vehicle drove away.
That's it.
I mean, it's like
that easy.
It was, you know. And then there's videos of going into these jewelry stores, breaking the glass, taking it out, and walking out.
Just
with
that
it.
easy.
But this isn't going on. There's nothing to see here.
So says AOC.
She is just. Oh my God! I wish she would go away.
I mean, she will eventually. Maybe she could be a lifer. I mean, you know.
No, she will be because where she's at.
Oh, that district better wake that
Pelosi.
Up.
Yeah, it's just like
Pelosi's going to retire.
Pelosi's probably going to retire this year, but somebody just like her.
Oh, for sure. So, for sure. So that's a good AOC of the week. She's, especially since it was, our segment was named after her, in honor of her.
Yeah.
In
honor. And I'm glad she was able to not disappoint.
Yes, yeah. I have a feeling she may come around again as an AOC of the week.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
I have a feeling. So mine this week is a big Schumer, and it's outgoing mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio.
Oh,
and honestly,
person.
there's a million reasons why you could have him as your big Schumer of the week.
Yeah.
Okay, this has got to do with the vaccine mandates that are now going in effect December 14th for all businesses. Okay, private businesses, all privately owned businesses. In addition, also on December 14th, so that means, anyways, you'll have to show proof of vaccine to enter a restaurant, to go to anywhere. I mean, it's basically enter a restaurant, grocery store, you name it in New York. You're going to have to prove that you were vaccinated. On December 14th, also, they will require children ages 5 to 11 to show proof of one vaccination to enter those venues as well. 5 to 11, they'll have to show proof that. So show your papers, people. Show your papers. Here it is. I mean, this is Nazi Germany. Instead of a tattoo on your arm, you're going to have to show this vaccine card in New York City. And he thinks this is the right thing to do, which is crazy. So the mandate also on December 27th will apply to roughly 184,000 businesses. By the time it's done on the 27th, 184,000 businesses. Now, how many of those businesses are going to hang around the state of New York for very long? The small businesses are going to go out of business. They already are. It's terrible. Now, the only good news, maybe, one last thing, 5 to 11-year-old children will also have to be vaccinated and show proof so they can participate in sports, orchestra, band, all that other stuff. Outdoor activities.
Yeah.
Outdoor activities. I mean, not orchestra.
Well, when they're blowing on those instruments, it's coming out of the.
Oh, that's right.
Coming out and spreading all over the place.
Put a filter at the end of the trombone. I mean, that's the only way to establish this, or ban trombones. I mean, I can't.
Or put a mask on the trombone.
Put a mask on it, the trumpet, the tuba, you name it. I mean, it's what you got to do with these days. But anyways, so the only good news is maybe some of this crap can end once the new mayor gets into office. And, but for the time being, what is the game plan? Why does he need to go through with that that's his last hurrah before he's out?
It's his one last flip off everybody. It's what liberals do. I mean, now Eric Adams, the next mayor-elect of New York, I haven't heard him say anything. I haven't heard him come out, but I can't help but think
there's no way he's going to put up with that.
This is going to get changed.
It's got to get changed. It's totally got to get changed.
You can't. And look, you can encourage people to get vaccines. Fine. Yeah. Encourage them to get vaccines. Make it between, like we talked about, between them and the doctor. Correct. Okay. That's really who should be making this decision. And I encourage anyone, we talked about this, anybody who is high risk, okay, you should probably get it. But you can't make
it's a mandate. You can't mandate this vaccine to everybody, especially for you know what? The next variant that comes out, just some news for you. The next one that comes out, even after Omicron here, will also have a 99% survival rate, just in case you want to know. Yeah. The one after that will have a 99% survival rate. And then, so where does it end? That's my question. Where does all this shit end? How many boosters are we going to need?
Well, where the mandate is coming from. It all stems from this Obamacare.
Oh, I know.
Because when they put the mandate in that if you don't have insurance, you will be fined.
Correct.
Okay. And that is unconstitutional.
Yep. That's right.
Completely unconstitutional.
Correct.
But our wonderful Chief Justice, John Roberts, didn't see it.
Saw it as a tax.
And you can't make Americans do
you
something.
Can't.
You can't make them do it. See, now some people are going to sit there and say, well, you have to have a driver's license or you have to have insurance to drive a car. Right.
Yep.
If you want to drive a car, you have to have insurance.
But you don't have to drive a car.
But if you don't drive a car, you don't have to have insurance.
You don't have to drive at all.
So, this isn't mandated. Yeah. This isn't,
That's right.
So let's get off our high horse, people. Let's get off the whole thing.
Exactly.
And, it's about a person's choice.
As it should be. Right. As it should be when it comes to injecting something into your body.
Not killing babies.
No.
but
injecting something into your body. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not killing myself. I'm killing another person.
Exactly.
We've gone through this
Correct.
100 times. Well,
and I just wanted to add
basically
that.
Came full circle here at the end of the show.
It always does with us.
It does. We get there.
It always does.
We'll eventually freaking get there. So, again, let's mention the email, 2guys1coup at gmail.com. That's the number 2 guys, the number 1 coup, COUP at gmail.com. Facebook page is 2guys1coup. Simple. Look it up. You can find us on there.
And everybody's on Facebook.
Yep. Unfortunately, most people.
Except me.
Yeah, not you.
Except
not
me.
you. But you listen to, Morningwood or whatever that band's called or something.
Restless Heart.
Restless Heart. Okay. It sounded like Morningwood to me, but so it's okay. So it doesn't surprise me you're not on the Facebook.
At our age, Morningwood's not a bad thing.
I went on.
It happens few and far between.
I don't even. What is it? I don't even know. So, anyways, again, if Black Rifle Coffee Company would love to sponsor us, that'd be great. If Grunt Style, which I am wearing one of their shirts today, they're one of their hoodies today. If they want to throw something our way, more than happy. I'm just saying.
We love bourbon.
We love bourbon.
We love bourbon.
Woodford, Maker's Mark, Angel's Envy.
So all of you out there listening to us, don't be afraid to share on Facebook with other people to have us listen because, we would like to get to that point.
We would eventually, I don't know.
Breaks in it. We'll show.
Yeah.
This is where we put
That's
those
right.
breaks.
That's right. Jim's vibrator's going off again.
It's
during
going
the
off
show,
again.
so that doesn't surprise me. You're probably, we immediately talk about gay bathhouses and Morningwood, and all of a sudden the vibrator goes.
It's my phone, folks.
Not your fault, Mom. Episode 3. It's not your fault.
It's the phone.
Anyways, Jim, this was awesome again. I appreciate
awesome
the time.
Again.
It's fun to talk. Next
fun.
week it'll be another show, another top 5 list, and we'll just kind of move on from there. Good luck to you. Have a good rest of your week.
Good luck to you.
Right. See you later, sir.
Bye. Oh, wait.
Stupid. Just stupid.
You're still recording.